international relations, particularly in the field of security. He delivered important presentations in international platforms. We have Dr. Zaidan here. He will talk about the HMEIMIM Air Base, Russia's tool in expanding toward Africa. And the focus of his presentation will be this airbase. I would like to leave the floor to Dr. Zaidan. Thank you very much, Mr. Tuz, for moderating this session. I would also like to thank ASSAM and the president of the center. So in my presentation today, I will be talking about this base, which is Russia's bridge in expanding toward Africa. And I think that this is a new front. And in 1973, this airbase was granted to Russia. So this can show us how important this base is. And in addition to this air base, Bashar Assad also allocated the HMEIMIM air base to Russia. And this is how, for 400 years, Russia had a military presence in this area. And we know that Russia actually took advantage of US's lacking presence in Africa and in the Middle East. So this definitely is for the advantage of Russia. And the most important reason behind that is Russia's support to Bashar Assad. And this also supported the revolution in Syria. But in addition to that, this gives us some hints about Russia's desire to expand toward Africa. And this also helped Russia to transfer mercenaries to Africa. So we will actually show the strategies that Russia adopts from the basis within the framework of this airbase. And from that, we will also talk about the nuclear strategies of Russia as well, which supports these air bases. So Russia wants to popularize S-400s and S-300s in this region. So the main goal is, of course, to challenge US in the region. With the HMEIMIM air base gaining a lot more ground, Russia actually revived its Soviet dreams in the region. We also know that Russia has a marine base here in the region for many, many years in Tartus. So this will allow Russia to prevent revolution. It will also guarantee the continuation of its air bases and also marine bases by keeping up the support to Bashar Assad. And we also know that new spaces are allocated to this airbase. So this the airbase is actually expanding in terms of location. So this is Russia's window opening to Africa.
وكانت مثل هذه الخدمات تساعد الرحلات البحرية الروسية الطويلة المدى إلى المحيطين الأطلسي.
This will definitely be an important base for Russia because it will support its existing powers and forces. As you know, until 2012, this marine base played a very important role. It supported Russia's marine forces coming in from the Black Sea, and with the revolution in Syria, Russia started to become more fearful and concerned, which lasted until 2015. And after that, Russia wanted to put an end to this fear. So it wanted to protect its marine base, and it also wanted to open up this air base to further strengthen its military power. And we know that Russia actually purchases land in Syria in 2014. It actually, Russia made a official visit to Assad. And Russian planes flew from Syria to Khartoum and then started a shuttle diplomacy because Russia wants to include many other Arab countries in addition to Sudan. But unfortunately, due to the fact that Russia wasn't able to make political gains in Russia, and after the toppling of the leader, the dreams of Russia actually failed, and they weren't able to break the sanctions because Russia's goal was to expedite the normalization process with Syria, but this target unfortunately failed. So this process was kicked off by al-Bashir, but Russia wanted to maintain this, and Russia wanted to include the West in this plan. And in order to fill this vacuum, Russia started to support African countries, and it also started to use the Khomeini air base to support its goals. As a result of a study published by 3 correspondents in Russia, the Jafra air base in Libya and also the Khomeini air base have become very important powers for Russia's military force. And as far as we know, 14 Russian military planes were flown to Libya. So the Khomeini airbase actually has become much more strengthened. And there are planes flying to Benghazi as well. And Haftar also cooperates with Russia. And before that, the main of the Khomeini air base was the transport of mercenaries from Russia to Libya, to Africa, to maintain Russia's deepening strategy in Africa. And also, Libya, Egypt, and Jordan were also included in the normalization process with Syria. And Jeffrey from US also criticized Russia's support to Assad. He noted that Assad would not be able to survive as a political leader without Russia's political support, and he also underlined the critical importance of the Khomeini air base for Russia. And he also noted the vital role played by this base for Russia to expand toward Africa. So this airbase is definitely of critical importance for Russia's presence in Africa.
نحن نسمع حضرتك أستاذ تفضل.
نعم، لا سيما أسطول الشمال الروسي أثناء مروره باتجاه البحر الأحمر وكذلك إلى غربي المتوسط بما فيها انتشار السفن النووية في القاعدة. من المحتم
Again, it is an important airbase for Russia's access to also to Red Sea.
Mikrofonları kapatırsak olur. Mikrofonları kapatmamız lazım.
So another speaker's microphone is on. If we can please mute the microphones. Thank you.
التي ترهن نفسها مقابل حماية أنظمتها وتوفير دعم لها، وقد رأت موسكو ذلك بشكل مباشر وقريب المدى في وقوفها إلى جانب النظام السوري، مما شكل سابقة بقدرته وقدرة أمثاله على الإفساد.
So in order for weak and vulnerable countries to have political gains in their countries, they need support from countries like Russia. We know that. And we also know that Russia definitely does its best to be influential in the Mediterranean. That is the reason why this airbase was actually the single Russian presence in the region. And Russia definitely made great use out of this airbase and the other marine base. So we know that for a very long time, Russia had marine forces in the Mediterranean, despite the fact that Russia has presence in this region. The United States was actually silent. It didn't react to it. And other countries like Greece, Italy, Cyprus, these countries were also silent towards Russia's presence in the Mediterranean. And that's why we think that the presence of Russia is not just a threat only to Syria, but for the entire region. So there is no challenge right now, there is no obstacle, or there is no war from Russia in the region. But in February 2017, military activities and military operations in Syria contribute greatly for the developments in Syria. So this was a statement made by a top military officer in Russia. And Ivan Nevalov said that Russian weapons are actively used in Syria. And for this is very important for the marketing of Russian weapons. And this also will help Russian weapons to have a great share in the arms industry. Okay, so I have 2 more minutes. We know that Libya has a great oil resources. It has a huge deal of oil reserves. That's why Libya is also a very important country for Russia, because it is a great player in the region in terms of oil. That's why Russia wanted to take part in the region. So to summarize, and I know that I actually took a longer time than I was provided, but in my presentation, I can say that it has been 12 months after the revolution. But similarly, we know that Assad has been shaken to the core, but unfortunately, Russia still supports Syria, and chemical weapons are being used in Syria, and Russia has made great achievements after the revolution in Syria. So, in addition to existing marine bases, Russia opened up 2 more air bases in Syria. And we also know that Russia has mercenaries in Syria and in other regions in Africa as well, and they are quite active in the region.